Good morning. All right. Bear with me. We are running just a little bit. Of course, my main computer went through an update, and here I am scrambling to get onto my laptop. But either way, we're going to go ahead and get started. So thank you guys for those of you that are here that have been here on time. So I'm always appreciative for all of you that are here on time. All right, let's go ahead and continue to move forward. Just listed, just sold, mastery. We're going to continue on this. And for those of you that are joining us from the other platforms, welcome. I am going to encourage you, of course, to come join us over here on Zoom. Gives us the opportunity to just a little bit better interact. What is that? Of course, that's going to be to ask questions live. And that's also going to give us the opportunity so that you can go ahead and role play with us. That's obviously the purpose of what we're trying to accomplish here. But before I begin, I do have my notes ready to go. Anybody have any questions that I can address? No? Let's jump right in. All right, so we were talking about creating a pre-prospecting routine. I'm not going to go over that. We already did that 2, 3 times. But I do want to park a little bit in regards to how to improve our skills, which is basically our skill mastery. Now, there's three things that basically boil down to a very, very highly successful realtor. Number one, it's going to be a lot on the mindset, goal setting, so on and so forth. I'm not talking about being constantly motivated, but they're also the opposite. They're not dealing with the constant ups and downs and the yo-yos and the discouragements and the lack of motivation and so on and so forth. One of the things that I say all the time is that the successful people do it even when they don't want to. Okay, and that is important. Motivation has very little, in a sense, to do with success. Okay, but a lack of motivation has a lot to do with a lack of success, if that makes sense. Okay, so we have to identify what it is that you need to do so that you can stay top of mind. So number one is going to be, again, that of mindset. Number two is our managing of our time. Okay, the managing of our time is absolutely vital. The better we are when it comes time to the managing of our time, the better the results are that we're going to be getting. Okay. So when we're putting in 30, 40, 50, even in some cases 60 hours a week, but you're only putting in 5, 10, or 15 hours worth of money-making activities effort, you got to be a little bit careful. What are the money-making activity efforts? Well, there's basically three things: working on your skills, prospecting, and lead follow-up. Those three things you want to invest about 60 to 80% of your day. 60 to 80% of your day. So if you're working a typical 8-hour day, you're probably looking at 4 to 6 hours just on those three things. However, some of you will probably do 4 to 6 hours of those three things over the course of the month. Okay. Number three, the most important thing is going to be, well, I don't want to say the most important thing, but the third most important thing is going to be skills. Okay. Now, all three of them are very vital. They're very important. You can't succeed without one or the other. Now, are there people that do have a high level of success that do a poor job of managing their time? Sure, but in most cases, it's usually the ones that are working the 70, 80, 100 hours a week, and I don't want to be that person. Or what about the people that don't have the skills? Sure, to a certain extent, but in most cases, what they're also doing is not being very efficient. But the ones that are the elites of the elite, they understand that those are the three things. Those three things are very important. Okay, mindset, managing of your time, and skills. Let's dive in a little bit further in regards to the skills side of things. Now, here's what I want you to do. And I ask of this of all of my coaching clients. What I want you to do is I want you to record your scripts. I'm going to go a step further, and I'm even going to say record even the scripts that you don't even, in a sense, go after. Let me give you an example. So let's say you don't call expireds. You don't call for sale by owners. That's okay. No big deal. But here's the thing. You do open houses. And as you do open houses, you might go and hand out flyers. I don't really do the cold calling thing, Robert. I don't really go into the depthness of knocking on a door and, going through the just listed script. Cool, whatever. That's fine with me. But what ends up happening, you go through and you distribute a flyer, and then somebody goes, "Hey, but I'm thinking about selling my house. How much commission do you charge?" What's your response? Okay. And then from there, they go, "Well, yeah, that's probably a little bit too much commission. We tried to get our home sold here not too long ago, about 6 months ago." Wait a minute. That's now an expired. So now do you go into the direction of an expired? Okay. And then they go, well, this time we're thinking about possibly selling it ourselves. Oh my gosh. Now all of a sudden I'm having to do a for sale by owner conversation. And that's going to happen sometimes. You're just simply doing open houses and you're canvassing the neighborhood, you're distributing flyers, and then all of a sudden you are in this conversation. Oh, wait a minute. And then all of a sudden you do the open house and people come in, and then you're sitting there not being able to push them through. Are you the kind of person that has all these visitors that come into the open house and just doesn't get the results? My expectation is when I do an open house, 10 visitors come by, I want to and I need to set one appointment. That's always going to be the goal. Now, preferably that appointment is going to be with a seller. That's always going to be the, of course, preference. Okay. Now, let's go through the skills mastery side of things. I already done enough of the this is why you should do it. On the skills mastery of things, what I'm going to encourage you to do is that number one is grab the script and record it. Like I said, well, awesome. You now have all of these recordings. What do you do? Number two is you got to listen. You got to listen to those scripts. Now, I'm going to encourage you to listen to all of them. However, kind of with what we do on a monthly basis is focus on a script. And it's okay. You're going to be in the business for the next 5, 10, 15, 20, even in some cases, some of you are going to be in the business for the next 30 years. 1 month focus on just listed. The next month focus on expires. The next month focus on database. The next month focus on for sale banners. It doesn't matter. My point is that you want to continue to just build that muscle. Okay. So number two is listening to yourself. Number three is getting role play partners. Okay, I've talked about this. Getting role play partners. Now, I'm going to ask you, for those of you that do have role play partners, awesome, kudos to you. I'm going to ask you to get 10. Okay, 10 role play partners. Like, what the heck? How in the world am I supposed to do 10 role play partners and do all this other stuff? As I said yesterday, you have to be efficient. Your role play is only going to take about 5 to 6 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes of critique, and then the other person goes 5 to 6 minutes and 1 to 2 minutes of critique. That should be about 15 minutes if you're efficient. Maybe at the worst case, it's 20 minutes. For some of you, you guys are, role playing for 35, 40, 45 minutes. And, you're role playing these crazy versions. I want you to get the version that you were closest at when you last prospected. And ideally, that last prospected was yesterday. And you're going to go through those scenarios. Okay. And role play that. Role play the scenario that you got yesterday, because that's going to help you. Go through the one that you got stumped on. Okay. Well, we're thinking about possibly selling our house, but how much commission are you charging? Uh, uh, I charge 6%. Oh no, I'm looking for a 4% agent. Well, I can do that too. No, it's okay. We already have an agent in mind. Yeah, well, I can be a second opinion. No, thanks. I appreciate it. Well, that was weak. That didn't get you very far. So you want to go through and role play that, because as you go through and you role play that, that's going to give you the opportunity to, of course, continue to improve on your skills. Okay. So we talked about record yourself, listen to yourself, role play. Now, I'm going to encourage you to get to the point. There's 3 levels, as I talked about, when it comes time to skills mastery. Number one is just read it. Go through the script. And when you record it, here, let me share a screen with you guys so you guys can see exactly what I'm referencing to. So I'm going to pull up the just listed script. And again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to just go ahead and jump right in, type them in. We'll get them addressed. What that recording is going to, in a sense, look like, it's going to be very basic. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to get my phone. I'm going to hit record. Hi, Bob. My name is Robert. I'm a local realtor with blank blank Realty. The reason I'm calling is I just listed a beautiful home for sale around the corner from you over on Banana Street. It has 4 bedrooms and 2 baths, and it's listed at a great price of $500,000. I was curious, who do you know that would like to move into our neighborhood? Fantastic. And then you go back and listen to yourself, and you're like, you cringe. Oh my gosh, that was horrible. That was, I can't do this. This is crazy. This is mind-blowing. I get that. I understand. Anybody go to the gym, January 1st, as some of you guys have been talking about, and then that very first week you got super sore because you hadn't gone to the gym in 3, 6, 7 months, and some of you, unfortunately, years. And then you get back and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I'm so sore. My back is hurting. My legs hurt. My everything hurts. Forget it. I'm not going to do it. Well, how does that help you? It doesn't. You have to push through the pain. You have to push through in a forward direction. Next Monday, record it again because that version is going to be just 1% better. Hi, Bob. My name is Robert. I'm a local realtor with blank blank realty. The reason I'm calling is I just listed a beautiful home for sale around the corner from you over on Banana Street. It has 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, and it's listed at a great price of 500,000. You listen to it again, you're like, yeah, that's not really good. No, but it's better than last week. And then you do it again and again and again. And then what you start to do is you take yourself off of the actual recorder and you try to test yourself. Hi, Bob. Hi, Bob. My name is Robert. I'm a local realtor. Um, the reason I'm calling you is I just listed a home for sale around the corner from you over on Banana Street. It has 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, and it's listed at a great price of 500,000. And you keep doing that and do it over and over and over and over and over again. And eventually get to the point where you could just simply spit it out like there's no tomorrow. Hi, Bob. My name is Robert. I'm a local realtor. The reason I'm stopping by is because I just listed a property for sale right around the corner from you over on Banana Street. 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. We have it listed at a great price of 500,000. And I was wondering, who do you know that like to move here into our neighborhood? Hey, I appreciate you taking the time to think about it. Tell me, how about yourself, Bob? When are you thinking about possibly making that move? Just like so. But you can't get there until you go through the process. And that 3 levels is you just got to read it. And then you got to get to the point of memorization. And then you got to get to the point of internalization. And as I've said before, memorizing it is going to be nothing more than, hi, Bob, my name is Robert. I'm a local realtor. The reason I'm calling is I just listed a home for sale right around the corner from you over on Banana Street. It has 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, and it has it listed at 500,000, great price of 500,000. And I was wondering, who do you know like to move into the area? Well, that's good because now you know the words, but there's not a lot of energy, enthusiasm. You're not mirroring and matching. You're not doing any of that stuff, but you're getting better because now you're no longer paying attention to with what you're saying and you're more listening to with what they're saying. That's going to be the difference because the difference is you're going to sometimes get responses even in the lack of response. Let me explain further. Now, I was curious, who do you know that'd like to move into our neighborhood? Yeah, I don't know of anybody. Okay, great. Well, thank you for thinking about it. Tell me, how about yourself? When are you planning on selling? Uh, well, yeah, we're not really thinking about it. The average Joe is going to sit there and say, well, he said no. She said no. She said that she wasn't interested. Yes. However, did you hear the hesitation? So you got to be able to get to that point. Lizette, is there anything you want to add to with what I just basically mentioned?
Yeah, actually. So I think with us, especially since we have our team
Mhm.
and we role play on a weekly basis. So I think I've seen the growth. And so I know that this works because I've seen their growth, I've seen my growth. And a lot of the growth that I've witnessed for myself is really just doing this and then listening to myself because then I can actually, it's more like self-reflection, so self-teaching. I catch all of my ums, my uhs, my filler words in between, and
Yeah.
so it does play a part. As but you're right, it is cringy. Like you listen to it and you're like, oh my god, why did I say that? Why am I saying so much? So it's just like it's a different type of learning, and actually witnessing our team growing that way too
Mhm.
is a big reflection as to
Mhm.
what this does for our team.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is. It's part of the growth. I think the one thing that like we recently shared with our team in specific, majority of our agents are newer. And we talk about the importance of role playing and the growth and so on and so forth. The example that I use is grass. We don't see grass grow, but we do know that we got to cut the grass every single Saturday. Okay. And if you don't cut it for 2 weeks in a row, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm up there, to the neck in terms of the grass is concerned. Now, what I mean by that analogy is nothing more than you are growing. You may not see yourself growing, but what I want you to do is I want you to be in a position where you're continuously putting that work and having that blind faith. Now, is it going to happen over a week or two? No. Is it going to happen over a month or two? Likely not. Is it going to happen over a year or two? Maybe, yeah, possibly, depending on how much effort you put into it. Now, is it going to happen after 3 or 4 years? Absolutely. It definitely will. And if you're just simply doing the basics of what I'm talking about, you will get there. You will get better. Okay. But you have to have that faith. You have to have that blind faith as much as I'm asking of you to have. Okay. Any questions, any comments, any concerns? Anybody have anything of anything? All right. So here's what I want to do. This is the purpose. We want to get to role play. That's the whole purpose of this thing. Okay. So let me start with who here wants to get better? Who wants to be my next millionaire agent? Who wants to be in a position to continue to grow their skills? Who's ready to put that themselves in that position? Deborah, George, Sandy?
I am. I'm driving and I'm on the freeway in
Okay.
heavy, heavy traffic, and there's two major accidents. Sorry.
You're okay. No worries. You're breaking up a little bit. So let's rather not do that because it's going to be a little bit difficult for the conversation. But I appreciate the effort. So let me go
Thank you.
through. I'm going to go through and role play. So Lizette, let's get you and I to role play. So whenever you're ready.
Okay.
All right. So I'll be the agent. Let's see. There's a little bit of feedback. Okay, there it goes. It's gone. All right. So here we go. Ring ring.
Hello?
Hello, Lizette.
Yes.
Lizette, hi. My name is Robert. I'm a local realtor with Blank Blank Realty. The reason I'm calling you is because I just listed a property for sale right around the corner from you over on Banana Street. It's a beautiful home. It's a 4 bedroom, 2 bath home. We have it listed at a great price of 500,000. And I was just simply wondering, who do you know that would like to move here into our neighborhood?
Okay. I can't think of anybody.
Okay.
But if I do, I'll send them out that way.
Yeah, really would appreciate it. Again, this property is over on 123 Banana Street. I really thank you for, of course, thinking about it. Tell me about it. Tell me about how about yourself? When are you planning on selling?
Oh, well, me and my husband have been considering it, but
Mhm.
we're pretty much set here for maybe another year.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're pretty much set here.
But you guys have given it some thought.
We actually have. We've been
Okay.
thinking about moving out of state. We're
Oh,
considering Utah, but
uh,
yeah,
okay.
I mean, it just kind of depends on a few things. We have our little one still, and but yeah.
Okay. So you guys have given it some thought, but you don't feel like as if the timing of it is right. I gotta ask, what's stopping you from making that move to Utah?
Well, I mean, it's more my husband than
Mhm.
me. I'm ready to go, but it's more him.
Okay, got it. Well, what's the benefit of making that move?
It's just a lot nicer. I think
Mhm.
I mean I've been there. We have some family there too.
Okay.
And so
Mhm.
we love visiting. But we do visit very often. So
Okay, got it. Now, how long have you lived here, by the way?
we've been here about 5 years now, I believe, around
Okay.
there.
All right. 5 years, and you guys have definitely some good equity. Where'd you guys move from 5 years ago?
Yeah, from here.
Okay.
Yeah, we were just renting before, but we ended up buying.
Awesome. Good for you guys. So you guys are
Mhm.
renting. You guys decided 5 years ago that it was time to purchase a home, and here you guys are now. And
Mhm.
now you're considering on possibly making that move over to Utah. Now there is reservation, as you said, from your husband. What's stopping your husband from wanting to make that move?
I think he just wants to make sure it's the right move for us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I mean, I'm not too sure. We haven't had that conversation,
Yeah.
too much in depth yet.
Yeah. So if we could, Lizette, and I get it, it's a big if we could put you, your husband, and you mentioned some kids are concerned. How many kids, by the way, do you guys have?
We have two girls,
Oh, very nice. How old are the girls?
5 and 10.
Oh,
Yeah.
very good. How do they like the idea of making that move over to Utah?
Oh, they're on board. I mean, they're
Mm.
good. They're very social, so they'll make friends.
Okay. Now you mentioned family. Who in your family is waiting for you in Utah?
We actually have my mom, my aunt, and pretty much my some of my cousins out there too.
Okay, so you definitely got some family out there. Who in your family is most excited about you guys coming over to Utah?
Yeah, definitely my mom.
What are you guys looking most forward to when you guys get together?
Just getting together with the family a little bit more often. That way the girls can, uh, be there with my mom, and yeah,
Hmm.
that'd be fun.
Yeah, how often do you see your mom now?
I mean, we travel out there pretty often, but I'd say
Okay.
probably, I don't know, last time was about 3 months ago.
Okay. Just not often enough is what I'm hearing though.
Yeah.
Well, let's do this. Here's what I want to do. If I could possibly get you guys there, I don't know, maybe by the holidays. I mean, that's still down the road. Would you and your husband consider having a conversation if I could get you guys to Utah, maybe by, I don't know, the end of the year holidays?
That's a possibility. I mean, it's
Mhm.
that's kind of a farther enough away.
Yeah.
But again, I'd have to talk to him. I know he wants to, make sure that decision is right.
Yeah, and the reason I put it so far out is just simply being in a position because the last thing I'm sure you want is thinking about we're going to be putting a for sale sign up in your front yard this weekend. That's not what I'm talking about. All I want to do is have a conversation with you and your husband to see what is the best time for you guys to make that move over to Utah. And, the reason I'm saying is because I don't know if you were aware of in today's market, it could take 1 to potentially 2 or even 3 months to get a home sold. Did you know that?
No, I thought they were still flying out.
Yeah, the average days on market right now is 42 to be exact. And on top of that, we still got to go through, I'm sure you remember the escrow process. That's another 30 to 45 days.
Right.
So let's just kind of do the math here. So we're probably looking at best case scenario. We're probably looking at about 2 months to potentially as many as 5 months. We're right now in March. We wouldn't go on the market this soon, but let's say we did go on the market sometime in April, May,
Mhm.
June, July, August. That puts us in a position where you could potentially be making that move around September, October. So as you can see, it's
Mm.
ultimately up to you guys. You guys have about a 90-day grace so that we can put a great plan in place and get you guys over to Utah. What do you think?
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about all of that, but it sounds like that makes sense.
Yeah, here's what I want to do. Last thing I want to do is put some extra pressure on you guys. Like I mentioned, Lizette, I just want to have a conversation with you, your husband, and see if it could be a potential fit. If it is, great. And if it isn't, that's okay. I've been in the business now for 26 years. I'm not going anywhere. I'm ready when you're ready. So let me take a look at my calendar. I can put you guys, let's take a look. I could do next Wednesday, or would Thursday be better to get together?
I would say probably next Thursday.
Okay. Yeah, next Thursday. So let me take a look. I got a 4 o'clock, or I can always do a 6 o'clock.
Yeah, probably at 6 o'clock. But again, I'll ask my husband first.
Yeah.
But that would be probably best.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's do this. I got you down here for Thursday at 6 o'clock. Your job is to convince your husband. We're just going to have a conversation. If it does work, great, we move forward. And if it doesn't, we can always move it to another day. I'm going to be working on some information on my side. I'm going to do some homework. And then that way, when we do get together, I can provide some good information. I'll call you next week, Monday or Tuesday, just to confirm. Would that be okay with you?
Sure, that'd be fine.
Awesome. Well, hey, I really appreciate that. So let me do this. I'll check back with you, like I said, next Monday, next Tuesday, and then we'll confirm if that Thursday at 6 o'clock is going to work for us. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect. I look forward to speaking to you and your husband, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, so with that being said, again, I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm not going to justify, but I don't prospect anywhere near as with what I used to. That myself, I probably would give myself probably a C plus at best, based on with what my skill set brings. But I do want you guys to understand, and I'll give Lizette, of course, the opportunity to critique me. I do want you guys to understand all I was doing was nothing more than just simply having a conversation. What's the motivation? Well, I know the motivation. The motivation is family. The motivation is getting over to Utah. I could have gone deeper in regards to what part of Utah. I could have gone even deeper from so many different perspectives. I could have gone deeper in regards to the husband. But right now, what I didn't want to do is go over the top. I was just trying to get some version of motivation. But with that being said, Lizette, what are some critiques, highlights, lowlights, anything you want to address?
I think you got the motivation right. I do think I don't know, I guess in your perspective, the speed or the tonality, was it matching?
No, no, that's why I said I give myself at the
Oh,
absolute
okay.
best a solid C. I was a little bit on the fast side. I
Yeah,
was
that's what I said.
probably about an 8, where you were closer to like a 6.
Hmm.
So I wasn't too far off, but I definitely was not matching. So that's a great observation. And
I
again,
see.
I'm not trying to justify, but heck, that's that we all go through that.
It looks like Sandy has a question. I don't know. Sandy, do you have a question?
Yeah, I do. So I have a listing coming up and I'm planning on calling the neighbors. And I'm gonna be honest, I left the office last night at 10 p.m., so got home around 11:30. So I'm a little groggy, so excuse my tonality here,
Okay.
but I'm here.
You're
Um,
here.
so the great thing is that so this is what I'm going to say something like, I'm going to be listing it really, really below market because we want to get tons of people and tons of activity in.
Mhm.
So I want to, as I'm trying to also acquire sellers, I want to make sure that I'm not sounding like an idiot lowballing it, right? So I was thinking of saying something like, well, we're coming in at if they ask me, because I don't want to say the price unless they ask. Well, we're going to come in at 1.888. And the reason why is that the seller really wants to market and provide as much exposure as possible. So we're going to start at that. However, you probably already know that the model across the street sold for 2.4 and the other one for 2.6. So, we're going to come in really strong with a really good price, something like that.
So here's my recommendation, and this goes for everybody, not just in this situation, Sandy. I never want to give a price, and here's the reason for that. You go
You did
through
earlier though. That's
you,
what.
yeah, and let me explain further. So you go through, you tell them 1.8, and your strategy that you're wanting to go after doesn't work. Okay. Which sounds like a great strategy. I'm not putting that down. That's a great strategy. That's kind of the approach that I, in a sense, would somewhat take. But I don't want to tell them this is what I think. The reason for that is because if it doesn't work, guess who they're going to blame? Okay. So what I want to do, what I'd rather you do is look at the comps. Okay. We're always going to provide 4 to 6 comps. That's where we want to be at. And some of those comps are going to be those. And at the very end, you can now say, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we can take one of 3 different approaches. Number one is we can test the market and we can go in closer, not at this price, closer to this price. Option number 2 is we can go right at the median and see how the market comes, whether it's in our favor or not. Or option number 3 is we price it closer to this vicinity, which gives us the opportunity to create a version of a bidding war. Now, none of them are guaranteed. However, which of the 3 options would you prefer? And then now you're letting them choose. Once they choose, whether it's option number 1, number 2, or number 3, just simply go, that's fine. Here's what we're going to do, though, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. We're going to give it 2 weeks. If in case it does not work, my recommendation, now you're going to put in your recommendation. My recommendation is the following. So when you go in there and you give them your recommendation at that point in time, I'm going to still sit there and say, hey, sometimes plan A, your price, plan B, my price may not work. Right now, the market is a little bit volatile, and we really don't know if it's going to work. We may have to look at a plan C option. But what you're doing is you're preparing them, especially at that price point, you're preparing them for a price reduction. Because the last
So
thing you want, go ahead.
I'm sorry, let me back up. I'm sorry if I didn't clarify this. I already have the listing.
Okay.
And so what I was worried about, not worried about, but I want to come across the right way because I'm calling the neighbors, telling them that I have this listing. And
Understood.
so I already have it. So I'm calling the neighbors asking if they know anyone. So I really kind of want to avoid the question, but if they ask, which they probably will, how much are you going to list it for? Then I want to come across and say, well, the seller really wanted to market to provide as much exposure as possible. So we're going to start at this. However, the comps, as you may already know, are 2.4 and 2.6 for this model.
Mhm. Yeah, I wouldn't justify it. I would just simply go through, give them a call and say, we have a great opportunity. The seller is really in a position we're wanting to maximize the exposure of this home, and we're really looking for the most amount of buyers for
Okay,
this home. My question to you is, who do you know? And
got it.
sometimes they could sit there and say, well, why'd your prices so low? Well, again, it's totally up to the seller in regards to the marketing strategy. And their strategy is that they wanted to get the most amount of buyers to potentially create a bidding war. And that's all
Mhm.
you're going to do. But again, remember, out of 10 people, there's only going to be one person that's probably going to ask you that. If you're sitting there focusing on it and you're over justifying it, you're now creating this awkwardness of a conversation.
Okay,
Yeah. It's no
thank you.
different. It's no different than going through on a listing presentation and you go, by the way, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm going to charge you 6%. The 6% is this much. We don't emphasize on it. We just tell them, here's all the fees. Everything's already included, escrow title, or agent, or sorry, attorney, and of course, all of the fees that are in there, including my commission. So it's the same
Okay,
thing. I don't want you to overemphasize on it.
thank you.
You're welcome. All right, everybody, we are at time. Again, we're going to continue to just plug away. Lizette, any last thoughts before we let the audience go?
Sorry, I couldn't find the mute. Okay, so no, thank you, Sandy, for doing that. I think with that, just the too much over explaining. I think that's where we gotta like tone it down sometimes.
Mhm.
So that's what I've learned from Robert is, explain whenever you're asked, but don't give too much because then, you're holding that as your in your back pocket.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
All right, everybody. Well, we are at time, so just want to say thank you all for being here. As always, it's truly an absolute pleasure. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7:30 Pacific Standard. I do apologize about some of the quirky whatever's going on the last couple of weeks, but we're going to get a lot of that stuff fixed. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you guys soon, and have a powerful, productive day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.